Okay, so welcome to the Sunday Shop Update. Today we're going to be talking about cordless routers. You know I love to use this Bosch router, I've been using it for ages, but recently I've been pushing it a little bit hard. It's so convenient, I'm using it for more and more things, and pushing it a bit hard, making some deep template cuts, trying to do it in one pass because it doesn't have a plunge function. Also large chamfers on hardwood. It's just been struggling. And while I was in the States, I saw one of these Makita cordless routers. I actually bought this from England. I looked at the prices in America as well, and to be honest, on eBay, Power Tool Mate are selling this for £99 plus VAT at the moment. So I just thought I'd buy it when I got home. I've bought it, I've definitely not made a mistake. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm going to take you through pros and cons of these two. Not that there really are, I think both of them work very well. And while I was in the States, I come across a 6 amp hour battery for the Bosch 12 volt range, and that is a bit of a game changer. It shouldn't really be a game changer because it should just run longer than my, a 3 amp hour battery, but as you'll see, it is very different. So let's have a look. Before I do the cuts, let's just see if you can hear the difference on the video. This is a 3 amp hour battery. They are both fully charged. So you can hear there is a massive difference. So if you're going to be using this on the bigger, deeper cuts, that really helps. That really keeps the speed up with a bit. So let's just do a test cut first of all with the small battery. This is the 3 amp hour, and they're both quite new. They're very, very new batteries. And then we'll go in straight away with the 6 amp hour. So that is a really good cut. That's a pretty clean cut on the softwood and very deep for a small router like this. That's the maximum cut virtually of that bit. With the Bosch, this is the fine adjust. So it's just push the button and lift the top, and then to lock it, you lock it there. Remove the bit, you just pull this, that locks that, which is really nice, I've got to be honest, on the Bosch. So Makita has pretty simple systems, just a ratchet here, place your base on, whichever one you're going to be using. It's not a micro adjust, there's just this adjust here for depth, and then lock it off and you're ready to go. I guess the micro adjust and stuff will be on the plunge base. Just check that. Okay, so a little bit different with a Makita. To power it on, you just use the lock button. That then sets a light off, which is really bright. It's like a dual LED, really nice. So let's try that on the test cut. Okay, so cut-wise on this softwood, they're pretty much identical. There is more power in the Makita. The downside is, on a smaller piece, it is more top heavy, and that is obviously the problem with these cordless routers. This Bosch, on the other hand, is not at all top heavy, and for certain jobs, this is absolutely amazing because you can just feel it in your hand. You don't even know it's there. Really, really good. But let's switch over to some hardwood, do the same depth of cut. This is the Bosch with the 3 amp hour battery. The 6 amp hour battery. So we're cutting the maximum amount there. As you can see, there's actually a lip, full cut into the top of the bit. Now, I've got to say, it's really hard to show you on this video, but that's a bit of burn from the Makita. I've got to say, the finish is just slightly better on the Makita. And I'm guessing that's just down to the speed, the cutting speed. You don't always want your routers flat out cutting. There's a big difference between the 6 and the 3. Not just in, I'm guessing run time, not that I've run the 6 out yet, but a big difference in power. So that's kind of changed this machine a bit for me. Just as I've bought this new one, I've now come across this battery that's actually upped the power. But I think it's still going to be, in terms of power, we're looking at the weakest, but the easiest and lightest. This is kind of middle. And in this, we have obviously very speed and a lot more power. So now we'll look at it with the template guides. Now you've seen me using templates recently for some door cutouts, hinges and locks. And that's what got me thinking when I was making the template itself. Was I asking too much of this machine sometimes and giving myself not as good a finish as possible because it's bogging down a bit? But moving on to the next router I have, which is this one of my favourites. This is a big difference obviously in terms of, you know, usability, size. This is great for bigger stuff. So that's what got me looking around for other alternatives. And when I found this was only £100, that's when I started thinking, well, I might as well try it. But let's give it a go now, anyway, and see how this compares. So as I said before, none of these machines have a plunge function, but you could get a plunge base for this one. So I'm just going to literally dive in, go around my template and see how they compare. Okay, so that overloaded. There's no problem, you just got to wait a second. So quite a difference with the 3 amp hour. We'll try again. And that is what was happening when I started to think about a new router. Not just it kicking back, not just it dying off, but it actually get a bit of kickback as it's bogging out. Okay, so that is the Makita. That's the Bosch 12. That's the Bosch 3. And you can see it's just cleaner here. It's a bit more torn, it's hard to show. So that's one of the reasons you do tend to get a tiny bit of kind of kickback you can feel through your hands when this bogs out using the smaller battery, as opposed to the Makita, which just feels like a mains unit, to be honest. So as you can see, the 6 amp hour battery in this Bosch is quite a big deal. It avoids any of that kind of feeling of kickback. It avoids the power limit coming in and it bogging out and stopping. And it just increases the weight slightly. So it's given this machine an even bigger lease of life. Something I'm actually also interested in is their little handheld planer. I don't actually have a cordless planer, and with this battery I could see that might be really, really good. Okay, so that's it for this week's Sunday Shop Update. I hope you found that interesting. My conclusion is both of these machines are quite different, both really, really good. If you're going to just buy one and you can deal with the extra size, that probably is one does all. But there are loads of uses for this, which I found that too big for. If you take a look at a video I'm working on a TV cabinet design, I couldn't actually work with that, it was too big yesterday, and I found that was the only router I could use easily and safely on it, so there's loads of uses for that. We've also got some really exciting news for Hardwood. We've been invited to the Makerscentral, which is at the NEC Birmingham from the 11th and the 12th of May 2019. And I'm going to have a pair of tickets to give away in a competition soon on that, which is cool. And lastly, does anyone want to buy any Hardwood t-shirts or hoodies? I've been asked by a few people. If there's enough demand, I'll get some listed and get some made on Etsy. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for your support. Thanks to everyone. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.